going, everyone? Mega Mashers here, and in this video, we are going to be reviewing Musharna. Musharna is one of the bulkiest Psychic-type Pokemon, so let's just analyze this thing real quick. So, obviously its typing is going to be pure Psychic, which means you resist fighting in Psychic, and you're weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost. Now, those weaknesses are pretty common in the NU tier, which is the tier that it's in, but you can play around those weaknesses by building teams around Musharna, and Musharna will not let you down. Taking a look at the abilities right quick, we got Forward as its first ability. Now, what this ability does is it basically reveals your opponent's strongest attack. Not really that useful, because great, you found out ahead of time one of its strongest attacks that it's going to use, but a much better ability for it to use would be Synchronized. And what Synchronized does is, say if you get statused with either Poison, Paralysis, or Burn, if your opponent is not immune to those statuses, well, Musharna reflects it right back at them, and they get status too. So that right there is just sort of like, heh heh. And lastly, it gets Telepathy. Telepathy is useless in singles. However, in doubles, not so much, because it avoids all damaging attacks from your ally Pokemon. So say, for example, your ally uses Earthquake. Well, it's going to avoid that, even though it's a widespread move that hits everything on the field. Let's just take a look at the stats here real quick. What really stands out is its base 116 HP. That is huge. Base 55 on the attack, base 85 on the defense, base 107 on the special attack. That's very respectable for a wall. And we got base 95 on the special defense and 29 on the speed. You're probably thinking, well, damn, that 29 speed sucks. You know what that means, though? That means this thing is going to be a killing machine in Trick Room. Allow me to show you on Pokemon Showdown. So the first set that I have for you, and by the way, all these sets that we're going to be running is going to have the ability Synchronize, so we don't really need to go over that. However, in this first set, we're going to be having Life Orb, and what Life Orb does is it boosts the power of your moves by 30% at the cost of 10% of your health. And you're probably thinking, whoa, 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 that's not good for a bulky Pokemon. Just hear me out, guys, hear me out. Because of the fact that this Pokemon is meant to be an offensive Trick Room set, we're going to have as much power as possible. So the first move that we'll be using, obviously, is going to be Trick Room. And for 5 turns, slower Pokemon move first. With base 29 speed and a speed lowering nature, oh man, this thing's going to possibly be one of the fastest. Well, there's no possibility about it. It's going to be one of the fastest Pokemon under Trick Room. That's just amazing. The next move that we'll be using is going to be Psychic, which is base 90 power, it's special, it's stab, has a 10% chance of lowering your opponent's special defense by 1 stage, and it's just awesome. It is going to be powerful. Up next, we're going to be going with Signal Beam, because this allows for you to have the best type coverage offensively and defensively too, because this allows for you to deal super effective damage to rival Psychic-type Pokemon. And there's a lot of Psychic-type Pokemon in the NU tier. And this also deals super effective damage to Dark-type Pokemon, most notably Malamar, which happens to be 4 times weak to Signal Beam. So that's just something to keep in mind. And lastly, we're going to go with Moonlight as a way to heal yourself, and depending on the weather, the amount of HP you recover will vary. So say if it's under sunlight, you'll recover more than 50%. If it's under any other weather conditions, you'll recover less than 50%. Or if there's no weather on the field, you're going to recover exactly 50%. So Moonlight is really the best option for recovery at this point. And let's just take a look at the EV spread here real quick. We're going to maximize its health with 252 EVs into its HP, 252 into its special attack, and 4 into defense. And we'll go with the Quiet Nature to lower the speed and increase the special attack. And you just take a look at those numbers right there. 344 special attack at level 100. Factor in the Life Orb boost, oh yeah, it's going to be hurting big time. So let's just take a look at the next set here real quick. Up next, we have sort of like a support slash pivot, and what this does, allow me to explain, the item for choice is going to be leftovers to allow you to have passive recovery at the end of each turn. And once again, we'll go with synchronize. The first move we'll be using is Moonlight to allow you to stay as healthy as you can throughout battle, but you also got to be aware that this thing only has a maximum of 8 power points, so you got to keep that in mind. Up next, we'll go with Psychic, that way it is not complete taunt bait. However, it's immune to against dark type Pokemon, so yeah, you got to watch out for that. And Baton Pass. Now you're probably wondering, why do I have a Baton Pass set on a bulky set with no way of setting up? Well, here's the thing. So say if you're about to predict your opponent to switch out, right? Well, get this. They're going to move first, and they're going to switch into Pokemon to obviously threaten you out, right? Well, you can Baton Pass out into a Pokemon that threatens to switch in, giving you the advantage. And, of course, if they're going to switch out, that gives you a chance to set up, which can be awesome. And lastly, we have a few options here. This thing has things like Toxic, Thunder Wave, Yawn. Now, I prefer Healing Wish because what this does, say if Musharna's role has expired in battle, you can go with Healing Wish, and of course the user's going to faint, but the replacement's going to come in 100% healthy and fully intact as if it wasn't even introduced in the battle yet, and that can definitely turn the tide in battle. Just take a look at the EV spread here real quick. So it's going to be a special defensive set. We'll go with the Calm Nature to allow you to have more special defense and less on the physical attack. And we're not going to be needing the physical attack like at all for Musharna. So we got 248 EVs into its HP, 252 into its special defense, and 8 into defense. Now you can go with a physical defense nature if you want, such as Bold, and you can go fully physically defensive. But I prefer special defensive. That way you can handle threats like Samurott and Magmortar, which are both known to be special, and those things are a threat in NU. They really are. So allow me to move on to the next set. This next set is going to be a setup set. And once again, we'll go with leftovers to allow you to pass recovery at the end of each turn. The first move we'll be using is going to be Calm Mind, and what Calm Mind does is boost the special attack and special defense by 1 stage. Next, we'll go with Psyshock to allow you to target the physical defense of your opponents. Even though this is a special attack, you'll be targeting physical defense, which means that you'll be a pseudo-mixed attacker, I guess? Best way to put it. Up next, we'll go with Moonlight to allow you to have the most reliable recovery right off the bat. Even if there's weather on the field, any sort of recovery is good recovery, so Moonlight is definitely a must in this situation. And up next, we'll go with Signal Beam because Signal Beam, as I said before, offers the best coverage offensively and defensively too, because of the fact that it targets Dark-type Pokemon, which is one of Musharna's weaknesses. Not to mention, it also targets bulky Psychic-type Pokemon and bulky Grass-type Pokemon too. And just take a look at the EV spread here real quick. We're going to go 248 into its physical defense. No, sorry, 248 into its HP. 252 into its physical defense, 8 into special defense, and we'll go with the Bold Nature. And just take a look at those numbers right there. That thing is going to be a physical tank. And after a couple of Calm Minds, you're going to be really hard to take down on the special side too. And that is insane. You want to know something else that's insane? Is this last set that I came up with. This last set here allows for you to be either a hard hitter, a safe pivot, or a crippler. Allow me to explain. So the item that we'll be using is going to be Choice Specs to allow you to be locked into one move, but have your special attack boosted by 1 stage. And once again, we'll go with Synchronize. This thing gets Trick, so that means that if you can predict a wall to switch in, and since you never see Trick on Musharna, they're not going to expect it, and next thing you know, they're going to be crippled and rendered useless in battle because they're going to be locked into one move. They have to switch in, switch out, switch in, switch out just to even attempt to function. That's going to cause some disarray for the opponent's team. Up next, we got Baton Pass. Now this is like a pseudo U-turn Volt Switch because this allows for you to switch out and switch a Pokemon in safely. And because of the fact that you're going to be slow, you're always going to be switching out last with Baton Pass. Up next, we got Psychic, and Psychic being fired off base 107 special attack maximum investment with choice specs, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, bro. And last, once again, we got Signal Beam for amazing coverage and for allow you to hit Grass, Dark, and Psychic type Pokemon for super effective damage, and they can be a big problem in the NU tier. Just take a look at the EV spread here real quick. We've got 248 into its HP, 252 into its special attack, and 8 into special defense. That right there is amazing. The fact that it has 344 special attack at level 100 with choice specs boosts, you're hitting over 500. That's going to hurt. And that's pretty good, like I said, for a bulky Pokemon like Musharna. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video on me reviewing Musharna and how to use it. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like videos like the ones I'm doing right here, why not subscribe? And if you have any questions, comments, concerns about this set or anything else, well then feel free to let me know. Tell me if you liked this video, tell me what you didn't like about this video, tell me if I missed something, and also don't be afraid to send me your requests on what you would like to see next. That's all I gotta say about Musharna. Have yourselves a damn good one, and I shall see you guys next upload!